gaslighting the public, shifting blame, and weaponizing governance. Meanwhile, Nigerians live in a worsening and worrisome insecurity, widespread corruption, hunger, and general despondence. There are no clear benchmarks for measuring tangible development as we continue to witness the collapse of key indicators like education, healthcare, and poverty alleviation, which are the parameters for measuring national progress. Simple comparison of what has happened in the past 2 years now relies on propaganda and misinformation to mark misgovernance. Our country today can best be described as a nation declining fast in all its facets. The security of lives and property has worsened, and the rule of law is virtually non-existent. These are verifiable facts. On May 29, 2023, when this government was sworn in to office, Nigerian gross domestic product, GDP, was $364 billion. As of today, it has declined to $188 billion, a decline of almost 50%. Nigerian per capita income was $1,640 as of May 2023. Today, it has dropped to about $835, a devastating decline of about 50%. Nigerians living in poverty have increased from 38.9% to 54%. Within this period, 129 million Nigerians now live below poverty line. The World Bank recent report stated that 75% of Nigerians in rural areas now live below poverty, and the situation is even more in urban areas. Our education sector has deteriorated significantly. Today we have 18.3 million children out of school, the highest in the world. The quality of education has deteriorated. Our children are now being taught science without science lab and computer without computers. They are now taking exams in darkness with candles. There's not even glitches in the exams. Health services have worsened drastically. The National Primary Health Care Development Agency declared that less than 20% of over 30,000 primary health care centers across the nation are functional. I've even recently visited some where there are delivery rooms without toilets. Democracy.
That's the state of things. And to call they will say, "She na statistics we go chop."
I think na statistics we go chop. A lie with arithmetic that never No Indian can solve it.
You get that? So that's a call to them. Statistics, Maybe the statistics they go chop. But somehow they also want to dump statistics on you, dump numbers on you. Numbers that you can't really trace them to verifiable source. Anyway, they want people to believe that they are fine, even when they are not. It's like saying, no, you are okay. You don't understand. You could have been worse than this if it wasn't for Tinubu. So you say, it would have been worse. So whatever you are going through right now, things would have been worse than that. Others will tell you that 2 years is not enough to start judging him. And somehow, they would possibly say, it's plausible not to judge Kolu in 2 years. If everybody admits that Bukwari already destroyed that contraption beyond anything. So Kolu only came to bury the entire thing. For 2 years, whatever you are facing right now is not enough for you to judge him. If you are alive to live long enough, though, because they are using you to perform experimental animals are being gone. So how are other people outside there feeling about it? Here is the guy that they nearly blind Isa Atiku Abubakar. Yeah, that's Nan's president, the guy that won the election, is in detention of DSS right now. The guy that they wanted, that did not win election, is today parading himself as Nan's president. And according to him, Tinubu has been the best president ever to students in Nigeria. He is your president.
June 12 is significant to NANS because it's Democracy Day. And we all know most of the development country today, they are they operate a democracy government, because this is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And we'll go 3 good things our goal in NANS we believe democracy has. One of it is inclusion, and the second is accountability, while the third is unity. In inclusion, we believe the government should include all indigenous, all citizens in whatever they want to do. They should carry everybody along. A military regime, we will not have access to them easily. And when it comes to accountability, the government should be ready to respond to any citizen that have questions pertaining to how they spend the money of the country, how they spend the budgetary and allocation to ministries. Why unity? When it comes to unity, we Nigerians should learn to be united, because we cannot afford to divide at this period of time when we already have 26 years gone and we're still trying to develop and to achieve a lot. So I believe we should still stand united for us to help this country to move forward. What people believe in NANS too, for many people that are conversant with this our association, we have the 3 C, which the number 1 C is consultation, the second C is consolidation, and the third C is confrontation. But then most of them start with the third C. They confront in all what they are doing. But I can tell you the new era of NANS under my leadership, we believe in dialogue. We believe in sitting around table to see. It's not everything you go to the street and start agitating for. You can dialogue with the federal government. Since you have a listening government that listens to all our complaints and they are ready to act, then we don't see reason why we should go. Like I told you when you saw us here today, we are here to say thank you to Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for 2 years uninterrupted education in the country. This is the first time since the inception of democracy that 2 years that there is no strike. And secondly, the NEN fund giving student loans. Now, there's no reason why any student should drop out of school because of school fees. Because the NEN fund will pay your school fees. Apart from paying school fees, they have monthly stipend. These are all policy from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So the Nigerian student under my leadership, we have come here today to tell him thank you. And he should please continue. He should not relent. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria we have the highest budgetary for education, and so on and so forth. So I can assure you it's not a NANS of go. We dialogue, we consult, and we consolidate. before we can confront. Not that we cannot confront. We can still use the last C after we've exhausted our. June 12 is.
Things are getting better for Nigeria. Things are getting better. For Asiwaju is on the throne. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Mr. President, things are getting better. Hey, I said, things are getting better for Nigeria. For Nigeria is on the way. Progressive government. Things are getting better. Asiwaju, congratulations.
Nuisance, Lily.
So here is something. If the president of the Nigerian student says, number one, nobody should be disturbing anybody for school fees any time. You know, sometimes when Tinubu and his gang make this pronouncement, and then, which is like opening a scheme, and they start running their scheme, and they continue to repeating the same lie again and again, and then it becomes the truth. Student loan. Subsidized education means everyone have access. Student loan education means if you can't afford your education, go and get a loan. They will pay your school fees for you. And in the last 1 year, don't let us say 2 years, like in the last 1 year when they have been active, they said they have received 175 billion naira and they have shared 21 billion naira. So meaning 150 something billion naira, they have not touched it. They claimed that these are the ones that they, the name fund themselves says, okay. So they have paid the school fees of 100,000 students. 100,000 people there, your higher institutions, public school in Nigeria, and also that means everybody is okay if only 100,000 people in the last 1 year, 100,000 students have requested for the loan and collected it. No, sorry, they said 300,000 people have requested, they have paid 100,000. So waiting for the remaining 200,000. So if anybody asks you and say, they want to chase me out of school because I have not paid my school fees, just give them nail fund link. Give them nail fund link. They should. And that's from the student, the Nigerian student leader or president, call him. So, but to a politician, the former governor of Bayelsa State, Seriake Dixon is a senator right now from Bayelsa. Here is his own position on this June 12th, Democracy Day. Is it actually a democracy? He asked.
If you have a military administration in the midst of a democracy that we are celebrating today, of all days, why did the president and the Senate president choose today, being Democracy Day in Nigeria, to read those undemocratic and unconstitutional and illegal communications to the National Assembly? I will not even bother to take constructive objections and concerns. Well, that tells you how the APC has reduced Nigeria's democracy to. I take very strong objections to that. And listening to the president's very flowery, otherwise impressive speech, let me say this. It's a good thing to make beautiful declarations of principles and show democratic commitment. Words don't show democratic commitment. What matters is actions and actions. But you cannot be celebrating democracy. You cannot be flaunting yourself as a Democrat on the one hand, and on the other hand, be trampling democracy under your big presidential foot in Rivers State. The president missed a golden opportunity to raise and deepen democracy in Nigeria by restoring on today's Democracy Day democratic and normal civil constitutional rule in Rivers State. Of all the things the president said, the president was silent about Rivers State. And today is about democracy. Today is not about repression. Today is not about suppression of the views of the people of Rivers State. Today is about respecting and upholding the democratic rights under the Constitution and the laws. These issues that some of us feel passionate about, it's not because of Fubara's nationality. It's not about Fubara's party, if he has any. And these days, you can't even be sure which party people belong to. So I'm disappointed. Firstly, that the president never said a word about the undemocratic developments in Rivers State, which he has enabled, which he has brought about, which he has sanctioned, and which he continues to sustain. And creating an impression as if all is well. No. As long as any part of Nigeria is under military rule, democracy is endangered in Nigeria as a whole. If you have...
Aye, right. So that is his own protest. What about the spineless, seamless Fubara? The fool bara. Fool bara. Foolish bara. I'm working on that. You know what he said recently? He attended somebody's birthday yesterday, and guess what the supposed house nigger said? He said he has learned his lesson. It seemed that the independence that he had then won't choke him. That's why he acted the way he acted. I don't know how to reinterpret it too. Well, that's how I interpreted it. I don't know about you. Listen.
I can't be what I'm not. I'm who I am. This is my central place. We ran away one time. Wanted independent before, we weren't too mature and wanted it to be independent. We had to go through a lot of things. So maybe it's my any independent that is causing this problem. But I've learned my lesson. They say independence is sweet, but it's just a carry drinking and it's a problem. So we thank God for everything.
Now the year the Mumu is talking about the independence of Nigeria, and at the same time he said maybe his own early independence that made him to misbehave that time. He has learned his lesson now. Anyway, so that was Seriake Dixon, you know, showing a bit of dishappiness, or sorry, it's a displeasure, so to say. So how Tinubu and his gang pretended that everything is fine, and everything is not fine. Well, that one was Seriake Dixon and seamless, spineless Fubara. Here is the view of one of, his name is Jamil, right? One of MK Wabiola's children, the same guy who said Bukwari was actually implementing his father's policy. I don't know, some of you will remember that. MK Wabiola's son said Bukwari was implementing his father's policy for Nigeria, that what Bukwari was doing is what is what his father would have done. I don't know, maybe I'm mixing them up. Maybe he said that about Tinubu or about Bukwari. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So here, his own position and gratefulness to Nigeria for the continued recognition of his father and others, a contribution to democracy or whatever. June 12.
Instead of doing all of this, let me just, take whatever I can take from this country and let me go abroad.
Tell me your personal experience. Your mother was killed in the struggle. You lost your father for several years in the struggle. He was absent because he was fighting for that mandate. What was it like? How disruptive was that for your life?
It was very disruptive, and I just thank God, that God has said in the Quran that